Hey, Grim Chronicles fans, gather round for a tale that'll sweep you away to the sun-scorched deserts of the Old West, where one woman's world was shattered, rebuilt, and transformed in ways she never imagined. This is the story of Lady Arabella Worthington, a noblewoman handed over to an Apache warrior as punishment by her own father, only to find a love and a life that defied every expectation. So, settle in by the fire, and let's step into this epic journey under the endless desert sky. It's the late 19th century, and the sun is relentless at Fort Benson, a dusty outpost perched on the edge of Apache territory. The air is thick with heat, and dust swirls like a restless spirit. In the heart of the fort's courtyard stands Lady Arabella Worthington, her head bowed, her heavy traveling dress soaked with sweat. Her corset digs into her flesh, a cruel reminder of the expectations she's never met. At 23, Arabella knows her father's scorn all too well. Lord Worthington, a man with a heart as cold as his polished boots, has long viewed her size, her gluttony, as he calls it, as a disgrace to their noble name. Her failure to secure a husband, despite his tireless efforts, has only fueled his contempt. Today, she's about to face a fate she couldn't have dreamed up in her worst nightmares. The courtyard hums with onlookers, soldiers, traders, a few curious locals, all drawn to the spectacle. Lord Worthington stands tall, his voice slicing through the dry air. "This is your punishment, Arabella," he announces, each word a lash. Her cheeks burn with shame, but she bites back tears, refusing to let him see her break. The crowd shifts as he turns to a tall Apache warrior standing nearby, his presence quiet but commanding. "Chief Maka," Lord Worthington says, his tone laced with disdain. "As agreed, I offer my daughter as compensation for the land dispute. She will serve your people as you see fit." A murmur ripples through the crowd. Arabella's heart stops. Compensation? Serve? She looks up, her eyes pleading with her father. "Father, please," she whispers, but he silences her with a hiss. "You've had every chance to prove your worth. Now you'll face the consequences of failure." The warrior, Maka, stands still, his dark eyes unreadable. Unlike her father's gaze, sharp with judgment, Maka's expression betrays nothing. No disgust, no triumph, just a single nod as he accepts her like a traded horse. "She's yours now," Lord Worthington says, turning away. "Do with her what you will." Arabella's world collapses. Her father mounts his horse and rides off without a glance, leaving her in the hands of a man her people call a savage. She's abandoned, alone in a strange land, the life she knew dissolving into the dust. Maka steps toward her, and she flinches, bracing for cruelty. But he only takes her small bag of possessions and gestures for her to follow. As they leave the fort, the sun blazing and the desert stretching endlessly ahead, Arabella steals one last look back. Her father is gone, and with him, everything she's ever known. The journey is brutal. They travel for days across a landscape that feels alive with hostility. Vast deserts and scrublands where the sun scorches her fair skin and her impractical shoes blister her feet. Her throat aches with thirst, her body screams from the effort. She expects Maka to mock her weakness or push her beyond her limits. But he's not the monster her father described. He's an enigma, moving with a quiet purpose that keeps her guessing. When she stumbles, he pauses without a word, letting her rest. At night, he builds fires and shares his food, dried meat, berries, without expecting anything in return. His silence isn't hostile, but it's not exactly warm either. It's just there, like the desert itself. On the second day, her voice cracked from disuse. She summons the courage to speak. "Where are you taking me?" she asks. Maka points to distant mountains, their peaks faint against the horizon. "Home," he says, his first word to her. Simple, stark, and it lingers in her mind. By the third night, when the desert cold bites through her thin shawl, Maka hands her an extra blanket without comment. The small gesture throws her off balance. She's been taught the Apache are bloodthirsty. Yet this man shows a kindness her father never did. "Why did you accept me?" she asks later, her voice trembling. "I'm clearly a burden." Maka looks at her across the fire, his eyes steady. "The white man does not understand value," he says, then returns to sharpening his knife. His words echo in her head as they press on. She watches him now, noting the quiet dignity in his movements, the way he reads the land like a story. He finds water where she sees only rocks, spots game where she sees emptiness. There's a strength in him, not just physical but rooted in something deeper, something tied to the earth. Despite her fear and resentment, curiosity stirs. By the fifth day, her body begins to adapt. Her steps grow steadier, her breathing less ragged. Maka teaches her small things, how to spot an edible plant, how to move with the heat. When she correctly identifies a plant he showed her, the corner of his mouth lifts, not quite a smile but an acknowledgement. That night, under a sky ablaze with stars, Arabella realizes Maka isn't just her captor. He's her lifeline in this wild. Maka sits on a rock and motions for her to join him. He pulls out a wooden flute, its carvings intricate in the moonlight. "My father made this," he says. "He taught me that music speaks when words cannot." He plays, and the melody is haunting. A song of longing and beauty in a desolate place. Arabella closes her eyes, letting it wash over her. When the music stops, she opens them to find Maka watching her. "It's beautiful," she whispers. "Like you," he replies, his voice low and certain. Her breath catches. No one has ever called her beautiful. She's always been the disappointment, the burden. But Maka's eyes hold no deception, only truth. "Your father saw only what you could not do," he says. "He did not see your strength, your kindness, your quick mind. My people see. I see." Tears well up, not from shame but from being seen. Maka touches her hand. "This is why I accepted you that day, not as punishment, as possibility." Under the desert sky, something shifts, a connection beyond the pain that brought her here. When Maka walks her back to Nali's dwelling, Arabella knows her life has changed. What began as humiliation is becoming freedom. But the past isn't done with her. Winter brings a chill and a warning. A scout races into the village with news of white men approaching, soldiers and a civilian in fine clothes. Maka's face grows grave. "Your father," he tells her. "He comes with the blue coats." Fear grips her. Why would he return after abandoning her? Maka suggests he might regret his choice, but his tone says otherwise. That night, the council debates. Some want to flee, others to stand their ground. Maka speaks last. "We will not fight unless forced. The white men's quarrel is with me and with her." After the council, Maka finds Arabella alone. "You must decide," he says. "If your father has come to reclaim you, will you go?" 6 months ago, she would have longed for civilization. Baths, soft beds, familiar food. Now the thought fills her with dread. "My place is here," she says. "With your people, with you." Relief flickers in Maka's eyes, and he touches her cheek. "Then we will face this together." The soldiers arrive at dawn. 12 men on horseback led by a lieutenant with hard eyes. Lord Worthington rides behind, his arrogance undimmed by the dusty trail. The Apache gather at the village entrance. Not threatening but unyielding. Maka stands at their center, Arabella beside him. When her father spots her, his eyes widen. "Arabella, thank God you're alive," he says, his voice thick with false relief. "We've come to rescue you from these savages." The word stings, but she stands firm. "I don't need rescuing, father," she says. His face darkens. "Don't be absurd. Look at you, dressed in animal skins, living in filth. Whatever these creatures have done to you, it ends today." Maka steps forward, raising a hand for peace. She stays or goes by her own choice. He says in careful English, "Not yours, not mine." Lord Worthington's face reddens. "How dare you speak to me, you—" "Father," Arabella interrupts, her voice stronger than ever. "I choose to stay. Yet you surrendered all rights before witnesses at the fort." The standoff teeters on violence. Then, Lord Worthington pulls a concealed pistol. "If I can't have my daughter back," he snarls, aiming at Maka, "then neither will you, savage." The gun fires, but Maka moves to shield Arabella. A cry rings out. Not Maka's, but an Apache warrior's, who dives in front of his chief, taking the bullet in his shoulder. Chaos erupts. The Apache disarm Lord Worthington and surround the soldiers. "Hold!" Maka commands. "No more blood." The warriors pause, and the lieutenant orders his men to stand down. Pointing to Lord Worthington, Maka says, "This man has broken peace. Take him away." The officer nods. He fired without provocation. He'll face military justice. To Arabella, he says, "Miss Worthington, are you certain?" She meets his gaze. "More certain than I've ever been." As the soldiers leave with her father in custody. A name from Nalani because her eyes reflect the sky. Her body is still full-figured, but it's strong, capable of carrying water, gathering wood, tending gardens. Her skin is bronzed. Her elaborate hairstyles replaced by braids with beads and feathers. Her spirit has transformed. Where there was self-loathing, there's now purpose and pride. Nalani has become a healer, blending Maka's teachings with remedies from her grandmother's journals. Children run to her with scrapes and fevers, trusting her gentle hands. Maka, who accepted her as a punishment, is now her husband in the Apache way, their union blessed by the elders at the winter solstice. Their love is quiet but deep, built on respect and growth. One afternoon, as Nalani gathers plants. "And what did you see?" "I saw a woman whose body spoke of abundance in a land of scarcity, whose eyes held courage, whose spirit was trapped, waiting to soar." He touches her cheek. "I saw you, Nalani, not what others claimed." As stars emerge, Nalani reflects on her journey. From rejection to acceptance, shame to pride, punishment to love. Her father's cruelty became her greatest blessing. In losing what she was taught to value, status, wealth, conformity, she found what mattered. A love that saw beyond appearances, a purpose serving others, a home where she belonged as she was. Grim Chronicles fam, that's the story of Nalani, a woman who turned punishment into possibility. What did you think? Drop a comment below. Did her journey surprise you? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more epic tales. Until next time, keep chasing the stories that matter.